Marvel's Spider-Man is a video game developed by Insomniac Games and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. It is an action-adventure game that was released exclusively at the time for PlayStation 5 on November 12th, 2020. The game was highly anticipated since it was first announced back in 2016, and it was received well by critics and fans alike. This review will explore the various aspects of the game, including the story, gameplay, graphics, and the overall experience. Welcome to PlayStation Icons. Here, we take a look at the best that Sony has to offer with first and second party titles. And in this video, let's explore what makes Marvel's Spider-Man a PlayStation icon.
What is happening to our city, Yuri?
I don't know. Feels like the end of the world. Maybe it is.
Peter Parker, how the hell are you?
The city is in danger. It needs our help.
All of our help. Alright, well, call the play, coach. Gang of costume nutjobs is taking the city apart piece by piece. Time I return the favor.
This is opportunity knocking.
You know the closer you get to them, the more you become a target, right?
The closer I get, the better chance we have to stop them.
I've ordered Silver Sable and her team to shoot you on sight. This city's had enough of your vigilantism. You're officially an enemy of the people.
Come on, Peter.
How do I call you? I mean, do you have like a cell phone in your pockets or something?
The story of Marvel's Spider-Man is set in New York City and follows Peter Parker, who has been Spider-Man for several years. This game begins with Peter trying to balance his personal life with his superhero duties. He's also dealing with the aftermath of the death of his uncle, Ben Parker, and the impact that it had on his life. The story takes an interesting turn when a new villain, Mr. Negative, emerges and threatens to take over New York City. Peter must team up with his old friend Mary Jane Watson and other allies to stop Mr. Negative and his gang, the Demons. The story is well written, engaging, with plenty of twists and turns to keep the player invested. The characters are well developed, and their relationships with each other are explored in depth. Peter's struggles with his personal life and responsibilities as Spider-Man are a major theme throughout the game. The writers do an excellent job of portraying the emotional toll of being a superhero can take on a person. The game also introduces several other villains from the Spider-Man universe, such as Dr. Octopus, Rhino, who add to the overall story and provide challenging boss battles. The game begins with a brief tutorial that teaches the basics of traversal and combat while introducing the game's mechanics. Afterward, the player is thrown right into the action with a high-speed chase through the streets of New York City. This fast-paced sequence sets the tone for the game's action-packed gameplay and establishes Spider-Man as a formidable hero who always gets the job done. However, the first significant emotional moment of the game comes across when Peter returns to his apartment to find that his longtime friend and mentor, Aunt May, has fallen ill. To confront the possibility of losing Aunt May, adding a new layer of emotion to the story and deepening the player's connection to the character. As the game progresses, the player's introduced to several key characters, including Mary Jane Watson, Peter's ex-girlfriend, and Miles Morales, a young teenager who looks up to Spider-Man. These characters have their own story arcs that intertwine with Peter's, adding depth and complexity to the game's narrative. One of the most emotionally charged storylines in the game is Peter's relationship with Mary Jane. The two characters have a complicated history, and the game does an excellent job of exploring their past while also building their relationship in the present. As the player progresses through the game, they will see Mary Jane come together to solve a mystery. They will also experience moments of tension and disagreement. The emotional storyline culminates in a heart-wrenching scene where Mary Jane puts herself in harm's way to protect Peter, demonstrating the depth of her love for him. Another key emotional beat in the game comes when players are introduced to Miles Morales, a teenager who idolizes Spider-Man. The player quickly develops a bond with Miles as they help him investigate the challenges of being a young superhero. This bond is put to the test when Miles' father, a police officer, is killed in action. The scene where Miles finds out about his father's death is incredibly powerful, as the player is forced to watch Miles come to terms with his loss. The emotional moment set up as Miles' character arc, which involve him learning to control his powers and become a hero in his own right. As the game's narrative builds to a climax, the emotional beats become more intense. The game focuses the player to confront the possibility of losing Aunt May again, as she becomes increasingly ill. This emotional storyline culminates in the devastating scene where Peter has to make a difficult decision that will change the course of the game's story forever. This moment is a turning point for Peter as a character when he realizes that being a hero comes with a great deal of sacrifice. The game's climax involves a battle between Spider-Man and his arch-nemesis, Dr. Octopus. This intense fight scene is both thrilling and emotional as it sees the player, Peter, and Doc Ock's relationship come to a head. The game's story comes full circle in this moment as the player realizes that the events of the game were all leading up to this final showdown. The gameplay in Marvel's Spider-Man is outstanding. Players control Spider-Man and explore a vast open world of New York City. The game features an array of side missions, collectibles, and activities, which helps the player gain experience points and unlock new suits and gadgets. The combat system in the game is fluid, and players can perform various moves, such as web slinging, wall crawling, and quick-time events. The game also has an upgrade system where players can upgrade their gadgets and abilities as they progress through the game. The game's side missions are unique and interesting, and they provide a break from the main story. Some of the side missions include helping civilians, stopping crimes, and collecting backpacks that Peter left around the city. These missions help players explore the city and unlock new suits and gadgets. The game also features puzzles, which are challenging and require the players to use their brains. These puzzles are optional, and players can skip them if they become too difficult. The graphics in Marvel's Spider-Man are stunning. The game has been developed exclusively for the PlayStation and later ported to the PlayStation 5 and later ported to PC to be on Steam. And it takes full advantage of the new console's hardware. The game features ray tracing, which enhances the lighting and reflection of the game. It also runs at a smooth 60 frames per second and also offers 120 FPS mode for those that have a TV that supports it. This makes the gameplay more fluid and immersive. Character models and animations are realistic, and the cityscape is detailed and vibrant. The game also features fast load times thanks to the console's SSD. Marvel's Spider-Man graphics are among the best on PlayStation 5. The game's open-world environments are beautifully rendered, with detailed textures, stunning lighting effects. The game models are also impressive, with Spider-Man's suit looking particularly detailed and realistic. The sound design is also excellent, with the game's music and sound effects helping to create an immersive experience. The game's voice acting is also top-notch, with the game's characters being brought to life by talented voice actors. Marvel's Spider-Man also features a variety of other features that make it a must-play for any PlayStation 5 owner. The game features a photo mode that allows players to take stunning screenshots of the game's beautiful environments and characters. The game also features a variety of side quests and challenges that the players can complete for rewards and upgrades. This game also features a variety of unlockable suits for Spider-Man to wear, with each suit providing different abilities and perks. Marvel's Spider-Man's control scheme is a complex and dynamic set of controls designed to allow players to fully immerse themselves in the world of Spider-Man. The game is designed to be played on a variety of different platforms, with the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 being, of course, the original and home platform for Marvel's Spider-Man, with it being later ported to the PC, with allowing you to use an Xbox One or a Series X and S controller, or your choice of PC gaming controller, and of course, that will cause the control scheme to vary slightly depending on what you're using. Overall, Marvel's Spider-Man control scheme is designed to be intuitive and easy to use, but also deep and complex enough to allow for a wide variety of gameplay options. Whether you're swinging through the city, engaging in combat, or sneaking up on enemies, there is a control option that will allow you to do it effectively and efficiently. With Marvel's Spider-Man being received well, and with praise given to its engaging story, well-designed open world, and fast-paced combat, the game was also lauded for its faithful adaptation of Spider-Man's iconic abilities and its depiction of Peter Parker as a relatable and empathetic character. The game has since become one of the best-selling PlayStation exclusives of all time, and has spawned a sequel with Miles Morales, which was released in 2022. It is easy to see how Marvel's Spider-Man has become a PlayStation icon.